Taurus, welcome to Yellow Card No Tarot with me. My name is Carole, and this is going to be a general reading for you for May 2026. And if you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you, and I hope that you take the time to comment below and let me know if the video resonated with you. And if you're coming back for another reading, I want to thank you for supporting my channel, and I hope that you take the time as well to subscribe because yeah, I really want these videos to get out to people because this is a healing channel. As some of you know that have been watching me, I am on my own intensive healing journey that I've been on for 9 years to heal my own complex trauma. So I work with a trauma coach, and I do parts therapy. And so I've been able to take my parts therapy and sort of integrate it into my reading. So you'll hear me talk about parts. And today we're going to talk about the ego part in particular, right? He'll be in here today for sure. So what when I sat down, oh, before I forget, yes, I was told before I start talking about this that to offer you personal readings if you're interested for a personal reading. You can go to my website, carolecares.com. It's Carole with an E, carolecares.com. And my website has a page on there for Yellow Card No Tarot, and there's some readings there that you can choose from if you want a reading. And the readings that I've done on this channel already. Also, I'm a shamanic practitioner, so I do distance shamanic healing if you're interested in that. And I offer you a 15-minute free consultation. Usually ends up going a little bit longer than that. And so, you know, where you talk about some of the issues you'd like to have healing for, and we talk about it and we see if we're a good fit for each other. You do not have to, you're under no pressure whatsoever after that to have a healing from me, but, and I won't bother you. And yeah, so if you've never tried it, it is amazing healing. The spirits do the healing, right? So it's a powerful, powerful healing. But you're here for a reading. And so when I sat down to do May's reading, I heard the 2 words hollow bone. And so I like to incorporate something about shamanism in my readings, whether it's oracle cards or sort of a theme. And so today it's a bit of both. I knew that the whole theme of hollow bone is central to shamanic healing. And I knew that I've seen it in my Shaman's Dream Oracle deck as well. And so I pulled the card, and underneath the card it had the word teachability. And so that really helped me go into the direction I wanted to go with this hollow bone. And so it's like, how can we become hollow bone, like hollow bone, which means how can we become teachable, right? Because the whole concept of hollow bone speaks about becoming a conduit or a vessel for the divine or spirit to come through us. And I mean, if you're a shamanic practitioner, obviously the spirit needs to come through you to do some really deep healing. And also the spirit comes through you, or the divine, to do personal healing as well. And so in order to become like hollow bone, we must become empty of the notions of who we are. We have to empty all that out. And you're like, well, what do you mean? Like, so all our lives, we're going through our life and our ego self has convinced us that we're this way. We have our own patterns, we have our own identity story and the belief about ourselves. And we continue really throughout our whole life as we heal is to chip away at that. And it's like, is that really true? Is that really true? And we heal it bit by bit by bit. And then we get to our authentic self, our true authentic self. And so it really is about, you know, getting out of your way, checking your ego at the door. But we're not getting rid of the ego because we can't. It's a part of us, right? I call it the controller part. It's the one that likes to control our life. And so we need to become teachable, where you're in a position to receive messages rather than try to control everything around you, right? And so I'm going to keep that as our theme This hollow bone becoming teachable. For your reading, I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot, and then I'm going to clarify it with the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. And so let's begin your reading. And I'm going to ask, first of all, what belief or identity story are you holding on to, Taurus, that's blocking you right now? And remember, you know, you're a persistent and sometimes you can be inflexible. So, you know, in your case, there's something that you could be quite stubborn about this and holding on to this, and your ego self will take hold of that and you know, make you believe that this is your identity story. So let's have one card for you. That is the card that's blocking you right now, right? This is your story. What are you identifying with right now? You have the Queen of Swords in reverse. What pattern, mindset, or emotions need to be released in order to be emptied out, right? To become that hollow bone. So this is your unconscious. This is your shadow part, right? This is what's really driving this identity story that you have, because there's something that needs healing right here. So what is the pattern? What's your mindset? What are the emotions here that need to be released? So let's ask for one card. King of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting, you got the king, the queen, and then the king. What's the message, the guidance, or the truth behind this that you've been resisting, right? What is it that your ego self does not want you to see? There's something here that your ego self's going, nope. And so what's the truth here? What's the message behind this? One card for that. Hangman. And that's in reverse. Hangman in reverse. And finally, how can you begin to trust and allow in order to step into the hollow bone state right now? This is the advice from the tarot. Remember, this is a healing journey, so it's going to be something small. It's your next step, but it could feel incredibly huge to you, right? This is why you're sort of stuck here in this situation, because it's preventing you from doing something right now. And yeah, and then I'll leave you with some advice as well. I'll offer you some playlists from my other channel called Carole Cares on YouTube, and that's where I keep some of my videos, a lot of my healing videos that I put out there, and you can look at those when I recommend them, because they're going to be really helping you heal what needs to be healed in this reading. So let's have one card for you. There's advice from the tarot. The Four of Pentacles in reverse. All right, so let's have some clarifications for this Queen of Swords in reverse. Couple cards for that. There's one. One more. So you have the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. 2 8s. King of Pentacles in reverse. Couple cards. I think we got 3 there. You have the Two of Wands in reverse, the Page of Swords in reverse, and the 10 of Swords underneath the King of Pentacles. In reverse. Hangman in reverse. Tell me more about this Hangman. Couple cards here. One more. The Magician card. and the Six of Swords in a sideways position. And the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Tell me more about that. A couple cards for that. Oh, let me see if anything turned around there. Nope. There's a lot going on there. There we go. There's one. I have a Persian, so I'm always thinking there's hair on me. And one more card, please. And then we can start on Taurus's reading. There we go. Okay. So you have Six of Cups in the Chariot. Underneath your Four of Pentacles in reverse. So what belief or identity story are you holding on to that's blocking you right now? We have the Queen of Swords. Look at her. She's in reverse, so in upright position. It's really important that I talk about the Queen and the King right off the bat because you've got two here. So we all have two parts to us. And we have a feminine part and a masculine part. Has nothing to do with your identity. Sorry, has everything to do with your identity. Has nothing to do with your gender. I don't know why I'm blanking out on that. Yeah, so it has nothing to do with your gender. But we can have our masculine, who is our ego self, in control, in our mind. And then you've got the Queen, the feminine side of us, who lives in the body. Right? And so here she is. She's blocked right now. But in an upright position, this Queen of Swords is staring out there, right? Looks like she's on her throne there. I was gonna say it looked like she's almost done. She looks like she's sitting on some. They got a little picture here. It looks like she's on some kind of a dinghy or something in the water, right? And you know the water is there because she's definitely someone that's in her body and she's in touch with her emotions. And she's very much in touch with her authenticity because the swords represent your mind and your opinions and your thoughts. And in particular, your mind represents, the sword, the single sword represents your truth and who you are. And so she's very confident. She knows who she is. But she's in reverse. And so this tells me that you're opening up with some ungrounded anger. You've got this anger that's bubbling up in the surface because there's a part of you that wants to come through, which is your truth about who you are. But I think you have this certain belief about yourself that you're up in your head, right? Your ego self is keeping you up in your head about something and who you are, but there's really the truth that's sitting under there that's trying to seep through here, and there's some anger coming through because you know your truth was taken away from you. And so let's get some more clarification on this Queen of Swords. We have this Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles talks about this individual that's full of passion about what he's doing, his workspace, you know. So I'm wondering if there's some career that you wanted to do, that you've always wanted to do, and you knew that there was something that you were very passionate about, but for some reason that was blocked when you were, you know, and you've convinced yourself, like, look at these 8 wands, and this just like this is pure energy of wanting to go there. But for some reason, your ego self has convinced you, your mind has convinced you that, no, maybe this career isn't meant for you. No, this is not what you were supposed to do. But there's this anger brewing underneath you. So I want to say that your belief system is that you can't do what you've always wanted to do. And this is a general reading. And so there's something here that's saying, you know, you've held on to this belief all your life that you can't do this. Maybe there's not enough money. Maybe you're not smart enough. There's something here. So before I talk too much, we're going to look at what pattern, mindset, or emotions need to be released or emptied out. What needs to be healed here? Well, you've got your King of Pentacles, and this is your unconscious. This is your shadow. These are the things you've put away, right? Well, you have the King here. Here's the ego self. This ego self is, he's the one that sits with the pentacle. And the pentacle is it's the physical body. It's your... it's grounding, it's being in your body. Well, you learned at a very young age that being in your body wasn't a safe place to be. And so at a very young age, and we'll find out why here, you have 3 cards here, but at a very young age, your ego self would have pulled you out of your body. And that's why she's freaking angry sitting here right here, because you're not in your body. Your anger is ungrounded. You're angry because our ego self is a real protector part. And when we're younger and when things happen to us and big emotions come up, and so you have these memories and you have trauma and emotions, the ego self protects us by pulling us out of our body as a young child and putting us in our head, because we can't feel these big emotions. And if this trauma is too much, these memories are too much for a child to feel, well, then we're put up in our head. It dissociates us when we're younger because it's protecting us. And so you were very much dissociated when you were younger by your ego self. And then we're going to get some explanation here. Well, here's the first card, is your 2 of Wands. And this is this individual that has the nudge to do something, to take his wands and go towards his true purpose. Something he was meant to do, has an idea. I was blocked. And so there was something that you wanted to do when you were younger. Maybe you know what it is, right? And it's funny that it's not funny, but here's the 8 of Pentacles, this person with this passion about something. Maybe you know what the passion is. Maybe you know there was something when you were younger that you wanted to do. Oftentimes we don't know, but this could be something that might lead you to what you truly want to do, right? And then you have the Page of Swords that's sitting here. So when you were blocked from doing something when you were younger, whatever it was, well, this Page of Swords came out because the pages are inner children. We have more than one inner child. I know mainstream psychology likes to say we just have one, but we have more because they need to hold on to our big memories and our emotions and our trauma. This one holds on to the sword, and it's blocked because it needs healing. It's the one that held the sword at 4, 5, 6 years old. It knew who you were. And because you were blocked and told, no, you can't do this, you would have showed signs of wanting to do this. And you were told when you were younger, no, you can't do this. And so that would have blocked that inner child of yours that knew who they were supposed to be. And they knew who they were. And they got blocked. Remember, this is in your unconscious. And the last card here is all those things that you were told. You see these swords? These are all the opinions, thoughts that, you'll keep hearing them right now that are going through your head because your ego self will continue to repeat them. It repeats things that your abusers or your adults told you when you were younger to put you in your place. You can't do that. You're not smart enough. We don't have enough money. What are all these messages that you were told when you were younger? And you'll continue to repeat them. Your ego self will continue to repeat them, like I said. And look what it did to you when you were younger. Did you in? And that's you believing that they were right. Because as a young person, you're a sponge. I see this as like a person, I think of that, when you poke pins into it used to be this little thing that held it. I forget what it's called, but it held the pins, You get poked enough, you're going to feel it, and you're going to finally just give in, right, when you're younger. I'm forgetting the name of it, but that's okay. But that's where you're sitting. That's what happened to you when you were younger. And so you're going to continue to believe this about yourself because that's what people told you when you were younger. And so what's the message or the guidance or a pincushion? So I remembered. What's the message, the guidance, or the truth behind it that you've been resisting? This is what you've been believing all your life about yourself. But the truth is, and it's not what you see right now, you have the hangman in reverse, in an upright position. The hangman is someone that is hanging. Look at her. She's hanging from her, whatever you call that, trapeze, whatever you call those things that she hangs from. And she's very comfortable. She's very comfortable in her skin. She's not afraid. She's not afraid. Not afraid to be her. She's not afraid to see that there's another perspective to things. And that's what the universe wants you to look at. There's a different perspective here that you're not looking at. You have been believing this for so long, and you've basically accepted it. It's done you in. But this is just a bunch of lies. There's a whole other side to this story. A whole other side. I want to call this reading, there's a whole other side to the story. You started off with the queen and then the king, those two sides. And now there's like the hangman saying there's a different perspective. There's a different side to the story. The magician says he's number one in the major arcana. He's, he doesn't come out often. But when he comes out, he says, like, look at me. I'm grounded. I'm like a lightning rod. With me being grounded, I can do anything I want to do. This is the card that comes out and says, you have all the answers in you. You can get through this. You can see through the other side. But there's something here that you need to become aware of, and it's in sideways here. So it's like maybe you don't see it. But this card, the Six of Swords, this gondolier man's taking this woman and child away somewhere from very rough waters to smooth waters. You need to be in a safe environment in order to do this healing. And maybe you're not in a safe environment. And so this card, the safety card, comes in, Taurus, to say, you have everything in you. There's another perspective here. There's another side to all of this. You've given in. And maybe you're in a situation where you're surrounded by people that are continuing to tell you, you can't do this. Oftentimes when we're told when we're younger, you can't do this, we'll end up being with people in our life that continue to say, you can't do this. They're repeating the same message that you heard when you were younger. And now the universe is saying, well, no, there's another side to this. But you've got to get yourself to a safe place in order for you to heal this and in order for you to see this. And so how can you begin to trust and allow in order to step into this hollow bone right now, this hollow bone state? We have the Four of Pentacles here. And it's in reverse, but an upright position. Look at her holding onto her purse. I picture this as someone that's just got off this cruise. And she's landed at this Caribbean island, and where they have all these bazaars and you can go shopping. And it reminds me of me years ago, my other life. And I'd go and buy all these souvenirs. But this one is getting off the boat and holding on to her purse. She's like, no, I don't want to spend my money. And so this is like a her what's the word? Like a hermit card. And so she's like holding on to her purse tightly, and it's in reverse here. And so I really feel like there's a part of you that the reason why you don't feel safe enough to do this, or safe enough to be on your own, to be in a safe environment, is because you're fearing that you might not be able to afford this. It's something to do around money. Like you're afraid to let whatever it is. I really believe that you have this false sense of security here, and you're thinking, I need to stay maybe in this relationship or stay in this situation that's maybe unsafe because for financial reasons. And so the universe is, you know, there's a Six of Cups here underneath that. And this card is a real card of, you know, your childhood. It's a nostalgic card. It's about this whole thing about giving and receiving, you know. And so I think that this card really is a card that talks about memories. I think that this is bringing back, this whole thing is bringing back memories of your childhood, of maybe something happened when, you know, around money. Maybe there was something financial, money was involved, right? And when money is involved with anything when we're younger, it really can mess us up when it comes to finances and our belief systems around that. So maybe there's something about that, like, and also the fact that it's like a nostalgia, and maybe, you know, the fact that you're thinking that you're being protected like children are by money, right? Maybe this money is like a cushion for you. I'm trying to think about how this could come into play for you. And the last card that comes is the Chariot card. And the Chariot card speaks about this individual that's, he's really been trying to get these sphinxes to move, but they're not even interested in moving. They're both looking the other way. And I mean, they're made of stone, right? That's how long he's been sitting here trying to control this with his mind. He's trying to control these sphinxes with his mind. And I think this whole reading, and I talked about it earlier, is that in order to be in a position to receive rather than control situations, well, we can't allow our ego to control the situation anymore. And so what do you have to do? How do you get out of that ego controlling everything around you, making your decisions for you? Well, this card comes out, the Chariot card comes out when it says, well, it's time to make that move. It's not the move, the physical move. And maybe in your case, maybe it is with maybe needing to move to safety. But this talks about their internal move, going from living from your mind, which is your king over here, your ego self, and moving into your body. That first card here, the Queen, moving into your body, moving into that feminine side of yours, right? Grounding into your body so that you maybe can get in touch with your inner knowing. Because your inner knowing, this magician talks about, you have everything in you. Well, that's your intuition. That's your inner knowing, your gut knowing, right? And so I'm going to leave you with a playlist on grounding, because it's really time that you start to focus now on getting back into your body so that you can start to feel. And so you can start to follow your own inner guidance of what your next step needs to be. And so I want you to have compassion, Taurus, for yourself, for what you're working through. This is a very difficult journey, your healing journey, but it's the most important one. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.